Hey, what up guys, Tay here, back with another Ironsight gun review. I know it's been a while, but since you guys have asked for it, here it is. Today we're checking out two pretty great assault rifles, the German powerhouse, the G36C, versus the Soviet-era weapon that has been tested all over the world for over 70 years now, the AK47. Alright guys, let's dive right in here and get this review started. Alrighty then, firstly, I want to mention that both of these weapons were tested using the same loadout. From skills to drones to attachments, they were all the same to minimize the variables. Statistically speaking, the guns are very similar. The G36C is a little faster and more accurate, where the AK47 is a bit slower with a wilder spray, but hits a bit harder. So which of these guns should you choose? Well, that all depends on you as the player. In my opinion, the G36C is better suited to medium-ranged engagements with 1 to maybe 2 enemies, where the AK's spray and damage really help in the closer ranged fights like in the airport's crashed plane. I noticed that the G36 works really well with ADS. If one of your bullets missed, chances were the next one would hit. With the AK, it wasn't quite so reliable at the longer distances. Missing one shot usually meant resetting altogether because the next few bullets would miss as well. However, at the closer ranges, the AK's damage output is almost unmatched. It can shred through multiple enemies with a single magazine in those enclosed spaces, and even does a significant amount of damage through cover. The spray pattern on these weapons are pretty interesting. The G36C's spray seems to travel up and to the right, but then it stops, whereas the AK travels upwards but then peaks out and starts to bounce around. This bouncing action is what makes it a bit more difficult to control in the full auto spray at the longer distances. When in a controlled full auto spray, the G36 seems to be controllable from the start. From the first initial trigger pull, you have control over where the bullets are traveling. The AK-47, though very predictable, is not quite so easy to control. The first half of the magazine, the gun will try to rise up to the heavens. After that first half, you'll feel the gun start to drop, which is when it becomes controllable again. Both of these weapons have their places in the game. If you prefer to hang back a little and pick individual people off, the G36 might be better suited for your playstyle. If you like to get right up in there, dig in, and take on as many people as you can handle, you might prefer the AK for its stopping power and damage output. Personally, though I did enjoy playing with the AK-47, I prefer the G36 myself. The more predictable spray pattern and the accuracy lended itself very well to my playstyle. The AK's fire rate seemed just a little bit slow, where the G36 is Goldilocks, just right. So obviously, some guns lend themselves to certain game modes better than others. In my opinion, the G36C works really well on game modes like Team Deathmatch, Search and Destroy, and Frontlines, where you can get a little bit of distance on your opponents, and the AK worked really well on Secure Point, Resource Takeover, and also TDM. Resource Takeover worked especially well with the AK, either to take on the enemies or destroy the bots. The AK's armor-piercing qualities worked really well to shred the bots to pieces and collect that trinidium, but on Secure Point, its spray was also pretty epic in order to clear the points. Honestly, they both work really well wherever you put them, as long as you put in the time to get used to how these weapons handle. Like I mentioned earlier, of these two, I would pick the G36C. To me, it seemed like more of a reliable and versatile weapon than the AK. So in my opinion, if you want an easy-to-use gun that doesn't require much practice to get good with, then the G36C is the way to go. On the flip side of that though, if you like the challenge of mastering a new gun and all the satisfaction that comes along with it when you do start to excel, then the AK is the one for you. There's nothing more satisfying than running through a whole team with the AK. All the time and energy that went into mastering its spray and taming what seemed like a bucking bronco becomes worth it at that moment. The G36C and the AK-47 are two of the most popular assault rifles in Ironsight. Of these two, I prefer the G36C, but which do you prefer? Do you like the quicker speed and dependability of the G36C, or is the AK's raw power more to your liking? Drop your comments down below to let me know what your opinion is. I'm always curious to know what you guys think of these guns. With that being said, I'm going to get back to work here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Later!